Hello and welcome. And now let's look at the 29th verse, Metamorphosis, from the book Footprints in Water's Free. Now, this verse is on apparent fame and defame, and how they don't belong to someone, but how the formlessness alone appears as that, and also as metamorphosis, which actually does not take place. So, and also this verse is can be interpreted on apparently various ways as to the Christchurch and the Holy Grail, and how Oxford and how Christchurch is it a college in Oxford, or is it the Church of the Christ? How the five rivers are the five senses, or the real land of the five rivers, Punjab, or how the pure land, either is it the pure land, or is it what we call Pakistan. Anyway, so let's go through this. It's a long verse, but I'd like to read it out because it's really gorgeous. Metamorphosis, and how, even one more, and how this apparent female, is it the woman or appearance of a woman, or is it simply what we call the bride and the beloved? So let's read it. Mysteries from the memory lane emerged and brought immense pain. Solitude and exile for many years made her face her deepest fears. It was all revealed in lonely days of how control had risen in subtle ways, how stained appeared her thoughts and skies with lust and greed in varied guise, how tenure of talents and their rise had driven the self for a prize. To be successful was her goal. She believed that would make her whole. Then fame, riches, victories, the taught patterns that are by this world sought, had hoisted her in vertiginous skies, followed by fear and shadows of rise. A steep plunge, all seemed lost. Health, wealth, honor, a huge cost. Now swayed by remorse and negativity, she wished life had unfolded differently, then recalled the lack of trust, of instincts too, when rained strong gusts, and deceit and secretive ties, dishonest dealings, false allies. Compromised marriage, threats persistent, further had tattered faith and commitment. Tears had dried, but trials hadn't given way, with new distresses the norm each day. A rigid ancestry broken home had made her rebel against pious domes, while her libertine slant had made it worse, for patriarchal society rules all worse. Sickening felt the recall of the yesteryear of fall, of how none had come to rescue the lamb from the hot stew. At last, derision had taken its toll, till none was left to sell its soul. The fire of present now seared thoughts and path of fear, and being victim of life's wrath. Again, reminiscing the glimpse that had risen in life's mints, and embracing silence ever present in all the seeming resentments, alive life appearing as forms impersonal to any rising norms. This image that came to mind brought it with it calm, undefined, in the harrowed lamb who walked alone on the streets of Oxford, unknown. Wondered why was she mistaken from the pure land thus forsaken. A mirage her past did seem, when she reigned over riches that gleam. A seeming collage of pictures, with none in the midst of it to feature, just pictures appearing on their own, while she remained untouched by the tale sown. Sauntering through her daily way, on a winter's day, cold, dark, and grey, she met her friend the homeless duck, who appeared jovial and unstuck from her apparent story, or from the deprived category. Then, as if reading the lamb's eyes, the duck spoke in manner wise. In the depths that are dark, life's unbound and stark. Musings from the imagined past do not confine a self that's vast. Like waves on water leave no mark, light is unaltered by the dark. In presence appear thoughts of past, but they can't taint the essence vast, for thoughts are like clouds in the sky that can't it impact, touch, or tie. Life at times begets developments to destroy rampant attachment. and one must face what one fears the most, accept unknown's fears, which shakes the self from its patterns, brings humility in the hazard. But nothing can destroy the presence, which seems ineffable in essence. Then, after some trivial talk, both went their ways on the walk. But words can never restlessness calm, for disquiet isolates even the psalm. And citing recipes, fair's names, cannot satiate hunger's claim. So she prayed to recall the love forgotten in life's treasure trove, and then wandered alone in silence until she questioned her existence. Now doubted if there was a force external or an eternal source to pray for help, advice, or nothing but simply life without a meaning. Though a lamb she had never followed, the herd or wait to be swallowed, had always battled like a warrior, fighting the imagined barriers. So now she sharpened the blunt arrows to shoot down the target narrow, to rise above her story and echo life's glory. She felt like she battled incidents, so could swim across illusion's prevalence, retrace her steps, try to go back, like an arrow, to hit the target track, but simply rose recognition of life, its linear illusion, and slaughtered seemed delusions tried, but without a sure insight. Then, continuing her walk at leisure through the broad walk in Christchurch, its meadows, a stillness seemed to grow, caught her sight the present scene of content cows, the scattered green, the effortlessly flowing river, soothingly serene in the shiver, while holding the rowing shells, the chattering crew, and the yells. She lingered at a slow pace, and each step was a seeming grace. Overflowed the unrestrainable tears, but intimate felt all fears. Intimate felt all the fears, for they weren't emotions of which to be rid or ignored, but love without a bid. It was clear honor, fame, and shame are just relative to life's game, yet truly one they are the same, irrelevant to life without a name, and radiates the stillness innate in stormy waters, do as the trait. Immense bravery seemed to shine, which played host to fear defined, with intelligence that gauged each sensation, not daring found in taxing situations. In this fearlessness that did embrace all fear, bliss, mess, or grace, she displayed a shimmering sight like the moon that reflects the sun's light. Though exiled, she couldn't hide the light radiant on its own, pulsating bright, for the light alone does shine, illusion or not, no confines. With every step, a little she did die, till nothing but her ashes did lie. Every step, a step new, effortless, the touch, the flow, unpossessed, like walking for the first time, ineffable, unknown chime. A marvel, wonder, the unknown, simply oneness, boundless, alone. Disappeared the actor of acts, the act alone without an impact, recognition, none to fight the war or go across the shore. Yet it was not the lamb's experience, but ineffable, timeless radiance. Then she arose, resurrection in a flash, like the fabled phoenix from the ash. And what followed was the return of seeming self, though only to burn in the fires of life and its game. A naturalness without a name, but troubled the metamorphosing dance midst the apparent cage and the freedom's expanse. She returned to the river's five, an aberration from her drive, to face everything dead or alive, ignominy too, from the archives. For present it was the ground to return to the pure land of passes with steep turns, to trek the mountain steep of the pure land that runs deep. She ascended like the mountain goat, the valleys of wilderness remote. On one trek, the mountains seized her, touch the morning sun and breeze. Rose recognition, holding one's ground. In relationships, abusive or profound is transient, is a hit or a miss. While love alone appears, is this. Appeared the taste of recognition that there is no one in submission or does control or plays a role. Appears boundlessness alone, the whole. A freedom where there is no way to act and no guilt ties to a ship or impact. Spontaneously life occurred. So, praises in insult simply words in dictionary, not life's name. A life without time, all its chains. Present only present is only the peering scene, never to be repeated. Pristine. Nothingness alone playing its game as hues of laughter, honor, shame, without anyone in the show to it create or it grow. Now love as death the lamb had found, a death in which nothing is bound. Death that's completely cellular, yet nothing strange or peculiar. A silence explosive in essence, vast and freeing cosmic resonance. Extinguished, female and the male into the source, the Holy Grail. A complete collapse of all structures, of self, the other, roles, features. For burst had the bubble of dreams into waters that as bubble gleam. Thus, the illusions fell away, a mirage which wasn't there anyway. There was complete freedom liberation, even from that which brings cessation. A home beyond words, family or land, the loudest song, naturally, unplanned. Yet there was no epiphany or a shift to accompany, so there was none to know the seeming end of a show. The lamb did not acquire freedom, instead, disappeared her entire kingdom. Today, no one returns to the urn, no ashes remain to bury or burn. Just recognition, death's an illusion too. For self is not a meat and stew, so no one ever owns the wool or taints skies by thoughts plentiful. For there is none behind the mask, nothingness performing each task, appearing as the vivid display, all the perfect and spoiled souffles. All there is the light, with its appearance bright, the roles it does play. This seeming display, like photographs in a stream, the celebratory beam. There's no desire for this occurrence to be different in appearance, entirely free to appear as it may, even if something is in the way. Just this immediate intimacy of the emergence, absolutely free, where nothing's denied, nothing does stay. Love alone in free fall does play. Ultimate penury and riches complete. A paradoxical, flavorful, flavorsome treat. So, like the mighty lion, roars the lamb beyond the innocence of I am. Yet didn't occur the metamorphosis, nor graced was the lamb to be in bliss. There's none to acquire liberty, so no one to become free, or know of its existence, absence, or non existence. And there's no progress from dark to light, for all is nothingness in occurrence bright, without a goal or destination or implication or causation. So, no lamb, no progress, no shore, but nothingness, aliveness, galore. Told as a tale of lamb in exile, when no soil's more or less fertile, simply the celebratory beam of light in myriad themes, as this paper and seeming story, the writing and the words of glory, of oneness in appearance, of real and unreal cadence, yet cater to butterfly, unknown. So this was the entire verse. It can be interpreted in apparently any way. There's no choice anyway. Thank you.